The filming of The Passion of the Christ was shrouded in mystery from the start, with numerous accounts of supernatural events and inexplicable phenomena leaving the cast and crew in awe, and at times, fear. The most notable of these occurred when Jim Caviezel, the actor portraying Jesus Christ, was struck by lightning during the filming of the Sermon on the Mount scene. This shocking event, which could have been fatal, left everyone stunned. Despite the intensity of the strike, Caviezel survived with minimal injuries, attributing his survival to divine intervention. What made the event even more unsettling was that it wasn't the only time lightning struck the production. Assistant director John Michelini was also struck by lightning twice during filming. Yet, like Caviezel, he walked away relatively unharmed. These incidents weren't isolated. Technical malfunctions plagued the set in ways that defied explanation. Cameras and sound equipment would fail at critical moments, only to work perfectly after impromptu prayers were said. Some crew members claimed to see strange figures in the footage during playback, figures that weren't part of the cast or extras. Whether these occurrences were dismissed as coincidences or viewed as signs of a higher presence, they contributed to an atmosphere of reverence and unease. The cast and crew began to approach their work with a mix of solemnity and trepidation, feeling as though they were part of something far beyond a typical film production. Mel Gibson's vision for The Passion of the Christ was as ambitious as it was unique, focusing on historical and emotional authenticity that had rarely been attempted in cinema. He envisioned a film that didn't just tell the story of Christ's crucifixion, but immersed viewers in the raw and visceral experience of it. One of the boldest choices was filming the dialogue entirely in ancient languages: Aramaic, Latin, and Hebrew. This decision, while groundbreaking, introduced significant challenges. Actors had to not only memorize lines in languages they didn't speak, but also deliver them with the emotion and intensity required for their roles. Months of preparation went into mastering the ancient dialogues, and language experts were brought on set to ensure accuracy. The painstaking effort paid off, adding an unparalleled level of realism to the film. The production design further underscored Gibson's commitment to authenticity. Matera, Italy, was chosen as the primary filming location to recreate ancient Jerusalem. The region's rugged landscapes and historical architecture provided an ideal backdrop, but it also demanded meticulous attention to detail. Every aspect of the set design, from the weathered stone structures to the handcrafted costumes, was designed to transport audiences to the biblical era. The costume designers worked tirelessly to ensure that garments reflected the era's textures, colors, and wear. The result was an immersive world where viewers felt as though they were witnessing history unfold. This meticulous approach, while rewarding, was grueling for the cast and crew, who had to adapt to the demanding conditions of the location. The challenges faced during the filming of The Passion of the Christ were not limited to supernatural phenomena or logistical hurdles. The physical and emotional toll on the actors, particularly Jim Caviezel, was immense. Caviezel's role required an extraordinary level of endurance, as many scenes depicted the physical suffering of Jesus. He sustained multiple injuries during filming, including a dislocated shoulder during the crucifixion scene, which occurred when the heavy wooden cross fell on him. He also suffered hypothermia while filming in harsh weather conditions and received permanent scars from a scene where the whip accidentally broke the protective padding and struck his back. These injuries, while severe, only deepened Caviezel's connection to the role. He later described the experience as transformative, saying that he felt a spiritual bond with the character he was portraying. Maya Morgenstern, who played Mary, also faced immense emotional challenges. Her role required her to channel the grief of a mother witnessing the brutal death of her son. Morgenstern often found herself overwhelmed by the intensity of the scenes, breaking down between takes. Other cast members shared similar experiences, reporting moments of profound emotional exhaustion. The harsh weather conditions in Matera, ranging from scorching heat to bone-chilling cold, further added to the physical demands. Yet despite these challenges, the cast and crew remained deeply committed to the project, driven by a shared belief in the spiritual significance of the story they were telling. This commitment extended to every member of the team, who saw their work as more than just a job. Many described the production as a spiritual journey, feeling a deep connection to the story's themes of sacrifice and redemption. The intense dedication of everyone involved, from the actors to the crew members, created a sense of camaraderie and shared purpose that helped them overcome the many obstacles they faced. This collective perseverance was a testament to their belief in the project and their determination to bring its powerful message to life. The set of The Passion of the Christ became a place of unexplained and seemingly supernatural occurrences, lending an otherworldly aura to the production. One of the most astonishing events was the lightning strike that hit Jim Caviezel during the filming of a pivotal scene. The sheer improbability of being struck by lightning, combined with the fact that it happened during a scene of profound spiritual significance, left many questioning whether there was a higher power at work. This was compounded by the fact that assistant director John Michelini was struck not once, but twice, by lightning, an occurrence so rare it bordered on the miraculous. Despite the danger, both men survived with only minor injuries, an outcome that many on set viewed as nothing short of divine intervention. Beyond these dramatic incidents, the set was rife with other inexplicable events. Technical equipment that had been functioning perfectly would fail without warning, halting production. Cameras refused to record, lights flickered, and sound systems cut out during critical moments. Yet, in an almost uncanny pattern, these issues often resolved themselves after moments of collective prayer by the cast and crew. Some began to feel as though the set was imbued with a spiritual energy, and many openly speculated that their work was under divine scrutiny. Perhaps most unsettling were the stories of mysterious apparitions. In crowd scenes, some crew members claimed to see figures in the background who had not been part of the production. At first dismissed as mistakes or lighting tricks, these sightings became more frequent, with some describing them as shadowy figures that appeared and disappeared inexplicably. When footage was reviewed, these anomalies were often missing, adding an eerie dimension to the experience. Whether these occurrences were seen as a divine presence or an overactive imagination, fueled by the intense nature of the project, they contributed to an overwhelming sense of mystery that permeated the set. The spiritual atmosphere was palpable, with many cast and crew members reporting profound emotional and spiritual experiences during filming. Some described feelings of overwhelming peace or connection during key moments, while others recounted being moved to tears without understanding why. These moments became a shared bond among those involved, deepening their dedication to the project and to its message. Mel Gibson's role as the visionary leader of The Passion of the Christ was both inspiring and daunting. The film was an enormous artistic and financial gamble, and Gibson bore the weight of its success or failure entirely on his shoulders. Refusing to rely on traditional studio funding, he financed the project independently, pouring millions of his own money into its production. This decision was driven by his commitment to maintain complete creative control and to avoid compromises that could dilute the film's authenticity or spiritual message. This independence came with its own set of challenges. Gibson's insistence on realism meant that the production was grueling for everyone involved. The decision to depict the brutality of the crucifixion in unflinching detail drew criticism from some quarters, but Gibson stood firm in his belief that the story needed to be told as authentically as possible. He often reminded the cast and crew that their work was not just a film, but a retelling of one of the most significant events in human history. This emphasis on the project's spiritual purpose served as a rallying point during moments of doubt or hardship. Gibson's leadership style was intense but deeply passionate. He was known for his hands-on approach, working closely with the actors to extract performances that were raw and emotionally resonant. Jim Caviezel, in particular, was pushed to his limits, enduring both physical and emotional pain to bring his portrayal of Jesus to life. Despite the challenges, Gibson fostered a sense of unity and shared purpose among the cast and crew, inspiring them to give their best even in the face of adversity. The financial risk of the project only added to its stakes. By self-financing the film, Gibson risked not only his reputation, but also his personal fortune. Many in Hollywood were skeptical of the project's potential for success, given its niche subject matter, use of ancient languages, and unflinching portrayal of violence. Yet Gibson remained unwavering, driven by his belief in the film's importance and the conviction that its story needed to be told with integrity. Throughout the production, Gibson's dedication to faithful storytelling was evident in every detail, from the historical accuracy of the costumes and sets to the raw emotion captured in each scene. He encouraged the cast and crew to embrace the spiritual essence of the story, often framing the challenges they faced as tests of faith. This perspective resonated deeply, transforming the production process into a profound experience for everyone involved. For many, working on the Passion of the Christ became more than a job. It was a spiritual journey that left a lasting impact on their lives. When the Passion of the Christ was finally released to audiences, the reactions were unlike anything the filmmakers could have anticipated. Across the world, theaters were filled with viewers who experienced an emotional depth that transcended typical cinematic engagement. Many reported being moved to tears during the film's most harrowing scenes, with some audience members openly sobbing in their seats. The raw depiction of suffering and sacrifice struck a chord that resonated deeply, especially with those of faith. For many, the film was not merely a movie, but a spiritual encounter, a visual meditation on the meaning of redemption and grace. Reports began to surface of audience members spontaneously praying during or after the screenings. Some described experiencing a sense of profound peace or spiritual renewal, and many clergy noted an uptick in church attendance following the film's release. The movie became a focal point for discussions of faith, inspiring religious leaders to use it as a teaching tool. In some cases, churches organized group viewings followed by prayer sessions or theological discussions. The film's graphic depiction of Christ's suffering opened a window for reflection and conversation, often challenging viewers to confront their beliefs and their relationship with faith on a deeply personal level. Not all reactions were positive, however. The intense violence depicted in the film sparked controversy, with some critics arguing that it was excessively graphic. Others raised concerns about the film's potential to reinforce negative stereotypes. These debates only heightened the film's profile, with heated discussions playing out in both religious and secular circles. Regardless of the criticism, the film's ability to provoke such a wide range of emotions and conversations demonstrated its cultural impact. The movie became a global phenomenon, breaking box office records for religious films and becoming one of the highest-grossing R-rated films of all time. In countries with strong religious traditions, the film's release was treated as a major cultural event, with lines wrapping around theaters for weeks. In other regions where censorship or differing cultural values posed challenges, the film's success was a testament to its universal themes of sacrifice, love, and redemption. It was translated into multiple languages and screened in countless countries, making it accessible to audiences of all backgrounds. The passion it ignited in viewers was a clear indicator that the story of Christ's crucifixion remained as relevant as ever. In addition to its emotional and cultural impact, the film's legacy extended to its role in shaping the landscape of religious cinema. By combining historical authenticity with a deeply emotional narrative, The Passion of the Christ redefined what faith-based films could achieve. Its success encouraged other filmmakers to take similar risks, leading to a wave of religiously themed films that sought to balance artistic integrity with spiritual resonance. Many of these projects cited The Passion of the Christ as a source of inspiration, particularly its ability to connect with both religious and secular audiences. The film's financial success also enabled meaningful charitable contributions. Mel Gibson, moved by the overwhelming response to the film, used a portion of the profits to fund various humanitarian and religious initiatives. These included supporting educational programs, funding church restoration projects, and contributing to organizations that provided aid to those in need. In doing so, the film's impact extended beyond the screen, affecting real-world change in communities around the globe. Culturally, The film left an indelible mark. It sparked discussions about the intersection of faith, art, and storytelling, challenging both audiences and filmmakers to consider how spirituality could be conveyed through the medium of cinema. Its portrayal of Christ's suffering became a touchstone for theological reflection, with many religious scholars and leaders referencing the film in their teachings. Even years after its release, the film continued to inspire those who watched it, serving as a reminder of the enduring power of faith and sacrifice. For many viewers, The Passion of the Christ was more than a film. It was a deeply personal experience. It compelled them to reflect on their own lives, their spiritual journeys, and the sacrifices they were willing to make for their beliefs. The film's ability to evoke such profound introspection ensured its place as one of the most impactful religious films of all time. It wasn't just a cinematic achievement, but a cultural and spiritual milestone that would influence generations to come. Behind the scenes of The Passion of the Christ, the cast and crew experienced events and emotions that many would later describe as deeply mystical, even transformative. For many, working on the film became a deeply personal spiritual journey, punctuated by moments that seemed to defy logical explanation. Personal testimonies from those involved revealed profound emotional and spiritual experiences that went far beyond the typical challenges of filmmaking. Maya Morgenstern, who portrayed Mary, often spoke about the emotional intensity of her role. Playing the Mother of Christ, witnessing his suffering and crucifixion, took an immense toll on her. She recounted moments when the grief she portrayed felt too real, as though she were channeling a deeper, almost universal sorrow. In one particularly poignant scene where Mary watches Jesus fall while carrying the cross, Morgenstern broke down even after the cameras stopped rolling. She later described it as feeling a connection to every mother who has ever lost a child. A connection so profound it left her questioning where the role ended and her own emotions began. Jim Caviezel, who played Jesus, had his own share of mystical encounters and physical trials. In addition to the injuries he sustained during filming, Caviezel spoke openly about moments when he felt a profound spiritual presence. In one instance, while filming the crucifixion scene, he described a sense of overwhelming peace washing over him despite the physical agony he was enduring for the role. It was during these moments, he said, that he felt he was not acting but living the story. For Caviezel, these experiences deepened his faith and changed his perspective on life, making his role in the film a defining moment of his career and personal journey. Other cast and crew members reported similar stories. Some described moments during filming when time seemed to stand still, as though they were transported to another place or era. Others shared accounts of vivid dreams or inexplicable feelings of peace and clarity. The collective experience was one of awe and reverence, with many feeling as though they were part of something far greater than a film production. This atmosphere of shared spirituality created a bond among the team, uniting them in a way that transcended professional collaboration. Mel Gibson himself spoke of a sense of divine guidance throughout the production. He often referred to the challenges they faced, whether logistical, physical, or emotional, as tests of faith. Gibson believed that the adversities they overcame were not mere coincidences but were part of a higher plan. His leadership was marked by this belief, and he frequently encouraged the cast and crew to view their struggles through a spiritual lens. This perspective helped many to push through the grueling demands of the project, transforming their hardships into acts of devotion. The perception of divine guidance was not limited to the challenges. There were moments of serendipity that seemed to affirm the team's sense of purpose. Scenes that appeared impossible to film due to weather or technical issues would suddenly fall into place. Equipment failures that had stalled production would inexplicably resolve themselves after moments of prayer or reflection. These incidents reinforced the belief that their work was being guided and blessed by a higher power. As the production drew to a close, many involved in the film reflected on how the experience had changed them. For some, it deepened their faith. For others, it opened a new chapter of spiritual exploration. What united them all was the sense that The Passion of the Christ was more than a film. It was a sacred undertaking that would leave a lasting mark on their lives. The enduring impact of the Passion of the Christ lies in its ability to resonate deeply with those who experience it, whether as filmmakers or as viewers. For the cast and crew, the film was a transformative journey, filled with challenges, revelations, and moments of grace. For audiences, it became a profound meditation on the themes of faith, sacrifice, and redemption. Years after its release, the film continues to inspire discussions about its significance and influence. For many, it stands as a testament to the power of storytelling to convey universal truths. The raw emotion and unflinching realism of the film invite viewers to reflect on their own lives and beliefs, creating a space for spiritual exploration and growth. As a cinematic work, the film redefined what was possible for religious cinema, setting a new standard for authenticity and emotional impact. Its legacy can be seen in the films and projects it inspired, as well as in the countless lives it touched. For those who were part of its creation, The Passion of the Christ was not just a film, but a profound experience that will remain with them forever. For its audiences, it continues to be a source of reflection, inspiration, and hope. This enduring power ensures that the film's message of faith and sacrifice will resonate for generations to come.